Okay, I am not really sure how to start this video. Okay, so I think I should start by saying that my miscarriage happened back in January and it continued for quite a few months, but I am currently pregnant and everything's going well. I am 16 weeks. So far, so good. That's why you see that we are actually in the nursery behind me. We've already started because we are so excited. But anyways, this story is actually a past miscarriage. So it didn't just happen. I didn't want to talk about it at first, but now that I am pregnant and it's a viable pregnancy and everything's going well, I feel a lot better to talk about it. Like, the experience itself was upsetting at the time, and it's still upsetting when you think about, like, I remember all the emotions and the feelings, but at this point I definitely think that I am over that miscarriage. However, I feel like you can never totally be over something when you do go through a loss, no matter how far along you are. The miscarriage still affects me in this pregnancy. So like I said, you can't really just say that it doesn't affect you. Like, I can feel like I'm over it, but it was still a traumatic kind of experience. So you still kind of deal with it. I think I'm forever in my future pregnancies, I feel like I will remember that miscarriage, but hopefully I'll have that miscarriage to remember, but then also remember this successful pregnancy and that I can have a successful pregnancy. Honestly, I'm more grateful today for it. But anyways, I'll show you my bump. It's still a very small bump, but you can finally kind of see it. Come here. I don't even know how to start this video. I did not think that I would be making this video tonight. None of this is as I've ever planned at all. But I can't even believe that this is, like, real right now.
I know.
Like, okay, I took a pregnancy test tonight because I did not get my period. And I didn't think much of it because I've been on a different medication. I've been taking the same birth control pill for almost 10 years. I take it religiously. I never miss a pill. I started taking this new prescription for pain. The next month, I wasn't getting my period for the whole week. And then I thought that was really weird. I always take my pill, so I wasn't really worried about that. Actually, first I took 2 pregnancy tests and neither of them were positive. They both said I was not pregnant. And then I went to the pharmacist and I asked if there's any drug interaction, and she said, she looked it up and she said no. She said, I recommend you take another pregnancy test. And so I did. I took one and it still said negative. And then I took one even a few days later because sometimes—
That was like months ago too.
That's right? That's months ago. And then I took another one a few days later because sometimes when you take it too early, it doesn't necessarily show. And sometimes you do get false negatives, but yeah, it still said no. And I did get my period, so there you go, I was not pregnant. The next month, I did get my period, but it was late. Like, and it was only for maybe 2 days, which is weird. It's usually at least 4 days. Sorry if this is like too much information, but this is just what's going on right now. I can't even think right now. This is like, wow. But yeah, I did not get my period at all this week. It's now Sunday. I usually would get it on the Monday, well, not usually Monday, usually Tuesday, Wednesday. Did not get it at all. Honestly, didn't think much of it. I thought, okay, I'm gonna stop taking that, like, pain medication because I honestly, I never had any issues with my period until I started taking it. So I stopped taking it this week, and Axel's in the shower, and I just kind of thought, like, this is the first time that it popped in my mind, but I thought, oh, I'll just take a pregnancy test just in case, you know, ease my mind. And it did not ease my mind. And this is not how I ever imagined, like, telling Axel that I have a pregnancy test that says that I'm pregnant on it. But I was just thinking, man, if I was pregnant, like, I was counting, like, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. The baby would freaking be due in September, and our wedding is August 8th, 2020. So I'm gonna be like, what, 8 months pregnant, walking down the aisle. So basically what happened was I didn't even look at it yet. The clock's still flashing. Axel's in the shower. I quickly put this in the drawer beside the bed, and we're about to get ready in bed. And Axel comes out of the shower, he sits in the bed, and then I kind of open the drawer just to double check, thinking it's gonna say no, of course, like the other ones I took. We're planning a freaking wedding. I always think that everything happens for a reason, so I couldn't imagine a reason that I'd get pregnant right now. At least like wait a few months or something so that I'm not worried about like having my baby on my wedding day. Yeah. But yeah, so I see that it says yes, and I'm instantly shaking. I'm in shock. I'm staring at it over and over again, and then I'm like, ready, I'm like thinking, okay, like, well, I'm not gonna tell him right now, because like I always want to like surprise you somehow too. And also I want to take another one. I'm gonna make sure. But yeah, so I decided to just, I said to Axel, I was like, this is not how I ever imagined telling you. What were you thinking when I said that?
I was like, what are you gonna show me? I was so scared.
Like, did you have any idea?
No, I had no idea. I was like, what the hell?
You're just trying to think of what it could be. Oh my gosh. And then I just like, I took a pregnancy test and it's positive.
But we're gonna go and buy more.
Yeah, we're gonna get more. But like, and like we're just about to put deposits down on like our 2 like venues. And it's weird because we called both people that were supposed to call, and like they didn't pick up. And then there's been like email issues, like the one lady had the wrong email for me, so we still haven't given the deposit yet. We were about to secure it where it's like a non-refundable deposit, so we have no idea what to do. Thankfully my cousin is our wedding planner. Her company is planning our wedding.
Let's
like,
go buy.
We're gonna get another pregnancy test. I'm not gonna sleep tonight at all. Like, oh my gosh. And like I want to tell my mom and like my siblings so bad actually, like, but I'm not going to. We're gonna be so excited to tell people, but like all I can think is that like, man, your mom is gonna be so happy. But like, what the is this for real right now?
Let's go.
I need to take another one, but like, can we just like look at this? Look at that.
We're gonna manage.
It's so weird. We talk about like when we have kids all the time.
We need to go. I'm gonna buy like 100 pregnancy tests. I don't think the gas station's like open, so like I'd have
You're gonna need to tell them that you need a freaking emergency supply of pregnancy tests in all different brands. I'm just in the car right now while Axel's going to a freaking gas station to get more pregnancy tests. Hopefully they're open or they can give it to him, because I think he has to actually ask the person. He's out there, oh my gosh. He has to ask, because they're not open. He's just gonna ask them for pregnancy tests. Oh my god. This is hilarious. Aww. They can't give it to him.
He doesn't have any.
What?
He was looking at tampons. I'm like, no, buddy. That's not it.
That's not it. That ain't it. Oh my gosh, like, I honestly have been, like, the past couple months, I have been fearing that, like, I can't get pregnant. I'm gonna cry right now. I've actually been, like, so scared that I can't get pregnant, like, with everything that's been happening. I don't know why, like, I have this, like, fear that I could never have kids, and, like, I mean, clearly I can. Oh my gosh.
Lock the door.
Okay. Are those the same brand?
They don't have any other ones. I grabbed
oh my gosh.
2. There's 2 in each.
This is like, this is for real. This is happening. Oh my gosh. That is pregnant, Baba.
What's CT?
I don't know what that means. Oh my gosh. 8 months pregnant on our wedding day. How did I get pregnant on the pill? These lines are like solid. Look how solid those lines are.
That's 2 freaking lines.
Oh my gosh! What the heck?
My mom's gonna be so happy.
I feel like I'm dreaming. Look at that. Crazy. Just like really want to tell my mom. I'm debating whether I should tell her before everyone else and like just go to my mom and dad and tell them, just because I don't know, I tell my mom everything, like, and if anything were to happen that was bad, I'd still want to tell her and I'd want her to know. So I don't mind telling her a little bit earlier. I wouldn't want to tell everyone earlier because if something were to happen, it's so sad, but if something were to happen, then like I don't want to have to like explain it to everyone and talk to everyone about it. I just want to like maybe just tell my mom, because regardless I'm going to tell her no matter what. So I don't know, and we're also very excited, so we just want to tell someone, so we might tell my mom, so we'll see. Okay, I'll introduce us. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to show my parents our top 3 choices for our niece's flower girl dress.
First
Okay, I
one.
think they'll like this one. That is so cute.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean the writing is funny, but
Okay.
is it a dress though?
Can you read it? Yes.
Read it
Yeah.
out.
Only the best nieces get promoted to big cousins.
What the hell? Oh. Oh. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Perfect timing, hey?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So I'll explain.
Oh my god! It's the reason everyone said that to you. Oh my
I know,
god.
I know. Okay, so Miko is coming over for New Year's Eve today. It is December 31st. I'm probably about 8 weeks pregnant. I still haven't had my dating ultrasound, so I'm not sure how pregnant I actually am, but we are going to tell him tonight because he did want to drink with us and I'm pretending I'm going to drink, but obviously I'm not going to drink. I don't know, I kind of want to tell him before he guesses himself, and we need to tell another person to tie us over until we can tell everyone. We actually ended up buying a shirt from Walmart yesterday and putting letters on it that say I am going to be a big cousin. It's gonna go to our one and only niece. So we're going to tell him that, like, to look what we bought for Addison, and then we'll see his reaction from there. Okay. You can see it's just the tiniest little belly. I wonder if you can see it better if I do it this way. Oh yeah, you can see that. There is my little belly. Wait, sit down, we have something for you. Surprise. Just kidding, it's for Addison, it's really cute. Let's get it.
Oh, Addison's shirt. Got it. What? What? What?
No way.
What?
What do you mean? I'm not stupid.
What does it say?
It's for Addison, right?
Yeah.
So Addison's mom or dad's like sister.
What?
It's
What?
like having a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I crazy?
Yeah, it's weird.
Guess
Like,
who? You don't know who?
No.
For real.
What the heck?
Yeah,
Actually.
you guys leave me hanging?
When?
December 15th. Found out.
December 15th is when I found out. I like don't know what to say, but I'm like in shock.
The camera there. How's that for hiding?
I didn't even see that.
Tell
But
me right
that's
away.
not like, that's like, you took another test like after.
We've
Yeah,
taken
she's
many
already done
tests.
blood work.
I took the test the next day that shows you how many weeks. It only goes up to 3+ weeks, and it said 3+. Oh, I'm pregnant. I've been to the clinic twice. Yeah. You're gonna be an uncle.
Uncle Miko.
So at this point, we already moved our date for our wedding to April 25th, 2020, and I was ready for this ultrasound. And when I got to my 9-week ultrasound, the doctor was saying, you're actually earlier than you thought. You're at about 6 weeks. Like, you can see the gestational sac here, and I don't know, there was other things there that you could see, but it was measuring about 6 weeks. Like, at this point, you could not see any baby. So I was a little bit confused. Like, I didn't know exactly when I had my last period. I was very confused because I was so irregular. So I was thinking, okay, I guess that's possible, but I'm very surprised that like I'm only 6 weeks. And I also had a little bit of a feeling like maybe something's wrong, like something must be wrong. Like it just doesn't totally make sense. I felt like there was something wrong. So I had a blood test and the numbers did go up significantly for the HCG levels, so I was like kind of confused. So after these blood tests, after like I was already feeling like hey, something's wrong, I had ultrasounds later on. I saw a gynecologist, and with the next ultrasound they confirmed that it's a miscarriage, which basically my body did not miscarry itself. So they actually prescribed me something to pretty much have my body remove all the contents of the pregnancy. The doctor said it was the most common type of miscarriage, where basically it's a real pregnancy, so you're actually pregnant, but at some point it just stops progressing, so no baby even started growing. I don't know, I saw a whole bunch of different doctors. I had so many different ultrasounds. I had different pap tests and everything like that. I had to take misoprostol to get everything out. So the next weekend, I took it at night at about 9 o'clock. I think it was like 5 or 6 hours later, everything started to come out. It was painful. I was actually contracting. They told me it was going to be like strong period cramps. They did say that if it does get way too painful, do go to the hospital or whatever, but they just made it sound more like it was just going to be kind of like a period. And they did not tell me how huge the blood clots would be that would come out of you. It's very gross and graphic, but especially when you're experiencing it, it's just insane. I don't know. I just think the physical part of it was actually even more difficult for me. I was just shocked by how much blood comes out of you and everything. It's very gross. This is very TMI, but that's just what happened, and it's consistent. So I'd try and sleep, but then it would happen again and I'd have to rush to the toilet and everything, and it's just kind of gross. It's gross, and it's like, and it's so sad because you just know that like that pregnancy, that excitement that you felt for that pregnancy is pretty much just gone. After that night, finally, it tends to just taper off and slow down, but it wasn't done. So the bleeding started to slow. They say it's going to be more like a period, and then it slows down and then just stops completely. So mine almost stopped completely, and then I started bleeding like crazy again on Thursday. So I called the doctor. They said, oh, it's probably just your body trying to rid itself of more stuff. It should be fine as long as you're not bleeding too heavily. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, should be fine then. Even though I was thinking I was done, I was like, okay, whatever. I can go through this one more time. The morning after, at about like 3 or 4 a.m., maybe a little bit earlier, I don't really remember, I woke up and I was in excruciating pain. My abdomen, I couldn't touch it. I could barely sit up. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit. I was hunched kind of over, but then that also hurt because I couldn't squish anything. It was the most excruciating pain I ever had. I could barely breathe through it because the expansion of my abdomen would make it so painful and you couldn't touch it. Like, it was excruciating. And it was so painful that I was seeing stars. I actually fainted on the ground. Of course, Axel was awake at this point and he was terrified because I fell to the floor and like he kind of caught me in time, and then I fainted. I only fainted for a few seconds or something like that, maybe 10 seconds or something, but of course that was like really terrifying for Axel. I don't know, I was super dizzy and I just like couldn't even imagine sitting in a car or laying down or anything. Like, nothing I could think of doing would make the pain go away. Like, it was horrible. So I was barely able to get down the stairs. We went to the hospital. Even when on our way to the hospital, I was like holding myself up from my seat so I wasn't fully sitting on it, and it was just the most painful thing ever. And I was already thinking, like, when we get to the hospital, there's no way I can wait in the waiting room. And then also on the way to the hospital, I was seriously like moaning, and like it almost sounded like I was in labor. Like what you see on TV of women in labor and like ready to give birth, that was the sounds I was making over and over again. It was like, I don't know why, it's just like, that's just what was coming out of me at that time. And I got there and luckily there were 0 people in the waiting room, but I could barely answer the questions at the front desk. Finally, I'm in a bed and they checked my heart and stuff like that. Anyways, they gave me an ultrasound. Everything looked okay. So they were confused about like why I was even having this pain. They checked my blood, and because they thought it could be an infection, but the blood test results came back normal. So at that point they were saying, well, like the only thing that it could be, like it could still be an infection. They gave me a prescription for antibiotics, but then they also gave me this pain medication as well. And then they gave me an IV. So I went home, I kept taking the antibiotic. Eventually it felt a lot better. My abdomen was fine, but I was still bleeding. So I stopped bleeding in March. I think just before I was about to get my period is when I stopped bleeding. Like literally a day or two before that period, I stopped bleeding. Axel and I did want to try for a baby ever since we had this miscarriage, but we had to wait all that time because I was still bleeding. And that was when we decided that, okay, we can start trying. I think April 24th was the first day of my last period. And then May 7th, we got married. We eloped because of the whole COVID situation. We actually decided to elope and we'll have our wedding next year with everyone else. But so we are married. We got married May 7th. Found out I was pregnant literally a week after we got married on May 14th. So that whole miscarriage journey, if you want to call it that, and journey to my next pregnancy, I guess, was a long process for us. I know I got pregnant rather quickly afterwards. Like, I know sometimes it takes people a long time. Some people also get pregnant way sooner. Some people get pregnant just a couple weeks after their miscarriage. But I just think it's so cool because I am due in January. So I had my miscarriage in January 2020 and I'm going to be due in January 2021. So there's something just special about that. I'm almost grateful for the miscarriage. I know that sounds really weird, but it made us realize that we did want a baby. We were ready for the baby, and I wouldn't be pregnant right now this early had we not had the miscarriage. So I hope that anyone who has gone through this before or is still going through it now can know that you can have a positive ending to all of this. There are so many people who go through miscarriage and still have a baby later, and sometimes right away. So that's it for this video. I'm sorry if this video was quite long, but I just wanted to get it out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.